Let's talk a little bit about the validity and the criticism of both the methodology and the conclusions. So, the instruments that they use, the data shows, are very precise. So, the EMG, the optical encoder with the 3D cinematography, and also the pantograph are very, very precise instruments, and there's a lot of data to back up those measurements. We see the results are quite normalized. So there's a high standard deviation, especially for the displacement and also the EMG data across, excuse me, being the mean of the different subjects studied. Also, there is no graph to show bar path for the individuals or even a mean bar path, which would help us if the horizontal displacement, if they were actually touching at the same spot, or if the bar had more of sort of that J path that we see. The incomplete measurements again will be the touch point. We have no data that the touch point didn't change. Perhaps the lifter's back extension, whether they lifted with a flat back or an arch, changed the results. Their leg drive, did they lock out at the same spot? With the bar travels. So not only the bar path, but also the distance that the bar traveled. Their level of fatigue. Did they start at 70% of their one rep max and have to continue working up until they hit that one rep max? How did they decide what one rep max to use? Was it their training max, or did the subjects hit a new max during the trial? We see the subject population 20 recreational lifters, age 25, training about a year and a half, 2 to 5 times per week with a bench press of about 235 pounds, weighing about 180, may produce different results than elite lifters, different results than someone with 4 year training history, 8 year training history. Would proper coaching change the results? And then we come to the pec major and the lats function. So it's interesting that the lats begin to fire harder and stronger at the beginning of the ascent at the one rep max condition, because the lats effectively work against shoulder flexion. They're moving the bar in the wrong way. Why is that spiking? What exactly is their role? The study doesn't even speculate about that. Is the pec major the only stabilizer? If it was, why wouldn't we see a gradual decrease in pec major activity, at least starting with the 90% of one rep max, which we don't see? Wouldn't we expect more pec major activity? There's more weight, there's more to do. And if you bring in the horizontal displacement, the bar may be traveling a longer distance to the lockout point. Wouldn't you think that the pec major would be firing harder? It's interesting to note that we didn't spend a lot of time on the descent. It's pretty consistent through all lifting groups, through all loading conditions. However, although all muscles studied increased on each loading condition, the lats had the highest increase from as the weight got heavier. Perhaps at 100% one rep max, they reach some critical mass, and they keep activated, stay activated for the lift. Solving for the lat roll is going to be an excellent point for future research.